Greetings from Los Angeles. This is Daisuke, and I very much hope that this video finds you well and in very good spirits wherever you are in the world. And in case you might be interested, let me provide you a very brief update with regard to the state of things here and the state of the channel, in case you're interested. If you're not, that's okay. And the things I'm about to say, again, nothing of any dire consequence or adverse impact, but just to give you a little update as to what's going on, because there have been, as some of you may know, a number of pretty significant changes over the past month. So yes, my family and I have moved from one country to another country, and so now we're now located here, and we are slowly but surely getting ourselves settled in. We have figured out, or we are now living in our new place, so we will be here for some time. We are still in the midst of getting things arranged. We are still in the midst of trying to get all the furniture that we are planning on, so nothing is, we haven't fully completed that part of the scenario yet, as well as other things that we have to take care of in order to really feel settled. So we're not quite there yet, but we're in the midst of getting there. So that's part of the fun. I think that's part of the adventure. And I think that my family and I are enjoying that part. We admit there's a lot of things we have to do, and it's quite hectic and it's quite busy. But at the same time, it feels like it's a good feeling of being busy, that kind of thing. So we are very grateful for this opportunity and these chances to be able to experience this new type of lifestyle in this different part of the world that, as we've mentioned before, we've never lived in this part of the world before. So I have visited before in my life, but never lived here. So I don't claim to know the area very well at all, but slowly but surely we're getting there. And I think my family members are enjoying it very much. So I want to thank once again everyone who has welcomed us and welcomed me, and who has given us some words of encouragement and the like. So thank you so much for everyone who has reached out to us in this way. Thank you. And I do want to say too that, again, just to echo what I've been mentioning in maybe past videos, I'm very sorry, but unfortunately, yes, I'm not yet in the capacity to be able to start the Criterion, say, film discussions or any of the other film discussions that I had been planning. So that's going to just be a little bit more time on my side. So I'm still prepping that. But I hope you can understand it. It's a matter just of not only settling in, but also getting into a type of rhythm, and just feeling a little bit more, how should I put it, just feeling, again, wholly settled, 100% settled. For me, there's still some things on my mind that I have to take care of, some pretty major aspects of daily living that still have yet to be resolved. So those are sort of in the forefront of what's preoccupying my energy, I suppose. So once those are handled, then I'll be able to focus on watching movies 100% and enjoying that 100%. So just give me a little bit more time, if that's okay, to settle in with a few more details. And once those are settled in, and again, hopefully it'll be as soon as possible, then we can begin we can recommence our cinema journey discussions together in earnest. And so that I understand, yes, it's on the forefront of that part of the YouTube channel, which is the rules of the game and the Time Bandits discussions, as well as the new releases that I was able to get over the course of the Criterion Barnes & Noble sale from last month that at long last I was able to take part in. So thank you very much for all those lovely comments that you very kindly sent. And so very exciting to be able to do that. I'm also, yes, happen to be very close by to our local Barnes & Noble here, so I can visit quite frequently. So it's almost like I can perhaps very comfortably walk to the Barnes and Noble. It's that conveniently located from my vantage point. So it was nice. It was really nice to be able to go. In fact, I was there yesterday evening, to sort of wind down the week after a week of working. And so it was time for the weekend. So that evening, we had a little bit of time, so I went to the Barnes & Noble yet again, and they were still having the Arrow sale. Now it's August 2023, so they were having the 50% off Arrow sale, so I was able to get a few titles. I was so much looking forward to this release when I had first heard about it, but I'd never had a chance to get it while I was in Japan, simply because I didn't want to spend the money on the shipping and the like. And so in terms of these films, they were kind of on and off available actually on Japanese releases, although they were, I think, one in particular was this, I'm speaking of the Game Trilogy here, is referred to in English, but there was a moment there where I think it was a little bit, maybe it was in between pressings, and so maybe it wasn't yet available, or there was a period where it wasn't available, then it became available again. But I really like what Arrow does, and so I've just begun looking at this. I haven't finished all of the discs and all of the features yet, but I've just begun this. I've seen these films a number of times before, but to have them here again, and this time given the Arrow treatment, I'm very, very excited about this. So continuing on with this. So thank you very much to the good team over at Arrow for being able to put this great release together, the Game Trilogy. Very exciting so far. And I want to say too that I want to give a quick shout out to our dear friend Seth Walsh. Seth Walsh, who was speaking a little bit to me offline, as he always does, with his great enthusiasm and wonderful love of cinema. He's such a great example for me to follow in terms of being a film lover and enthusiast. So thank you very much, Seth Walsh. So I want to say that I've seen this film a number of times before, but I never had the Arrow release, but I thought now is as good a time as any, especially since Seth Walsh was mentioning it sometime before. So thank you very much, Seth Walsh, for inspiring me to reacquire this one, but this time in the Arrow release, so basket case. So thank you very much for that. And so I am. Oh, and I also just wanted to get one more. Speaking of horror films, I'd never seen. Well, I'd seen this film, but never on the Arrow release, and so I was able to watch this. But this time, I'd never seen this film with the commentary track, and so I'd realized when I saw this in the store that it had a commentary track from the good team over at the Hysteria Continues. I'm a big fan of the Hysteria Continues. Really, really admire and appreciate their work. Their commentary track is also, they do podcasts, of course, very famous podcasts, but now we can see them doing many sorts of things, including book publications and oftentimes now commentary tracks. And so commentary tracks for Death Screams, it was wonderful to watch it again, but this time with great quality, because it's I'd seen it before, but never in such high quality presentation as this. So, and also with the Hysteria Continues commentary track as well as an extra added bonus feature, as well as other bonus features. So it's really wonderful. So it has a great making of documentary here, Death Screams. There are some details about the making of that were really interesting. I never realized that, for instance. There's some interesting connections with sort of Hollywood trivia that I'd never realized about certain members of the cast. It was really fascinating. So I learned a lot last night in terms of watching that. So well done. I should really, again, I can't wait to try to get into the discussions of the films that I had planned. So maybe I'll try to continue that further. Again, I really want to start the film discussions here, or restart those here as we did before I moved from Japan. It's just, again, just getting into the rhythm of things. And so please permit me a little bit more time to sort of get into that focus. But in the meantime, I'll try to watch as many films as possible. And I just started too the Pasolini set from the Criterion Collection, and it is so far so good, so far so great, I should say. And I can't wait to share some of those comments with you and to hear from you again in more detail very soon. My plan is to go into the set like we have done in the past, try to do some kind of general comments on it and try to speak about each of the films individually as well. So that's the plan. It's a bit ambitious because it's a big set, but let's see what we can do with that, and hopefully I can jumpstart that discussion as soon as, again, things are settled here with a bit more, how should I say, with a bit more of a feeling of being at home, as it were. I'm still in flux, and so that's why I feel this way. I still feel like I'm in kind of the traveling mode, but I'm almost there. Yes, we shall see when that'll happen, but hopefully it'll be very soon. Again, maybe when more pieces of furniture enter the place, then maybe that might help to assuage me into this feeling of just finally being settled here, and then thus being able to go forth with film discussions and the like, although I'll try my best to do so beforehand. Again, cannot wait to talk about the Pasolini set. It is so far so good, or as I say, so far so great, so far so excellent. And I want to say too, thank you. I did mention again, I think a week ago or a couple weeks ago, that the Change.org petition that was so kindly set up for me and so kindly supported by so many dear friends, with so many comments on the Change.org petition itself, as well as comments that I've received in a number of areas. I want to say thank you so much. It's still ongoing. The Change.org petition is still ongoing. So I think it started, a couple weeks ago or a few weeks ago. And it is, what did I say? I just saw it just before I started this video. And it was over 900. So that is, for me, that's a huge number. So thank you so much. But we can still keep it going if you want to keep it going, my dear friends. Again, I think it's 1 million. It's 1 million to one shot, or even if that, perhaps the odds are even greater, or the odds are even more astronomical. So the chances are very slim that this could happen. Of course, but it is always nice to dream. It's always nice to hope. And if there are things like this, the Change.org petition, then that, I think, certainly is it's better than not doing anything at all. And so, and not only that, this itself is such a lovely gesture, and the fact that it exists, and the fact that it was set up, and the fact that there are people who are signing up and leaving comments, this is for me such a great treasure. So. Thank you so much for the support so far. And from my vantage point, it's still ongoing. There's no time limit to anything like this. At least I don't think so. So yes, so let us, if it's okay with you, let's keep this going. Let's keep this alive. So the Change.org petition is still happening, and we are now just shy of 930 or so signatures. So maybe if we can get over 1,000, that would be our next milestone that we can hopefully reach. So my dear friends, if you have not done so already, please take a look at the Change.org petition. I'll leave a link below. And if you are interested in signing up, I would be very grateful for your support. If not, that's totally okay. I don't want you to do anything that is outside of your comfort zone. So I'm not offended in the slightest if you don't want to participate or if you don't agree with it. No problem at all, my dear friends. But if you are in the feeling of wanting to sign it or wanting to support it, by all means, I would be very, very grateful. By all means, please do so, and I would be very, very grateful for that showing of support, my dear friends. And of course, please, this sort of thing, of course, needs to be shared and needs to be shown to shown to many people. So please feel free to share it with your friends. Please feel free to share the link with maybe groups or maybe areas that you think might have a certain criterion related focus or anything of the sort. If you feel like you're a member of groups, or if you know some criterion fans out there, and they might be interested in this sort of thing, please feel free to share it. I know some people have already shared this petition with a number of groups already. And so thank you very much for that showing of support. Truly, thank you very much. And it's also allowed me to begin to meet people that I haven't otherwise met before. So people who are discovering my YouTube channel for the first time. So thank you very much for that as well. It's allowing me to be able to, again, hear from new people and to hear what is going on in terms of people's own cinema journeys. So thank you for that. And on that note, I have to say, again, I'm so sorry. I have been very bad when it comes to responding directly to comments, and I hope you can forgive me. I have read everything. I read everything. So please, my dear friends, please forgive me. And that's all on me. That's all my fault. So I apologize for that. I hope you can forgive me. It's been just, again, trying to get settled into this new place, moving to a new country. Or I mean, I've been here before, but moving from one country to another country. And then also trying to be sure that my family is comfortable and taking care of them as well. It's been very overwhelming. It's also been very exciting, and so much stimulus, and just almost stimulus overload. And it's been quite busy. So that unfortunately means that I haven't been able to respond to the comments in the way that I would otherwise like. So I really apologize, truly apologize for that. But I have been reading them, and I hope you can forgive me, and hope you can understand. I will do my best to try to get back to people as much as possible. But again, we're still in the influx settling in phase. So once the dust has cleared, hopefully things can be returned to a state of how they once were before the move. So once again, my deepest apologies. But I am reading comments, and I'm very grateful for your time as always, my dear friends. Very grateful indeed. I should say too that I haven't been able to go to the movie theaters at all since the last time I went to, was at the New Beverly Cinema a couple weeks ago, where I was able to watch that great double feature of A Fistful of Dollars and For a Few Dollars. Well, that was one of the great highlights of my cinema journey in my life. I'll never forget, and I do plan to return. So I haven't been able, unfortunately, to go watch, say, any of the films in the theater. So I haven't seen Barbie yet. I haven't seen Oppenheimer yet. I know a lot of people have recommended these films to me, but unfortunately I haven't been able to see them yet. I'll try my best to go watch them while they're in the theaters, hopefully very soon. But I can't make any promises. But I do want to try to get to the theater soon, especially before school starts for my children at the end of this month. So we shall see what we can do. But it's again just trying to get our bearings and figure out where the roads are, and this is the very sort of fundamental stuff that we have to figure out. So. And I, not just myself, but I have to be sure that the other members of my family are very comfortable as well. So making sure that they are well situated. So once that is taken care of, then hopefully that'll mean we'll be able to maybe as a family go watch a film in the theater. Again, the movie theater is very close actually from where we live, so we're very happy about that. And I think also the movie theater too is maybe within walking distance. So, but maybe we might want to. Again, we're also in the midst of trying to be sure that we have a vehicle, a driving vehicle, a car that we can have and use as a family. So that's one of the things we have to figure out between now and next week. So, among other things as well. But once those and other details are settled, then we can get into the rhythm of maybe going to a movie, or maybe visiting Amoeba again, or figuring out some other film related maybe film spots and the like. So I want to visit Mulholland Drive. I haven't been able to go to Mulholland Drive yet, so I want to go to visit Mulholland Drive as well. And so I drove down Sunset Boulevard a little bit, but I want to, but just very briefly. So I wasn't able to soak it all in, but it was still very magical. And I want to try to maybe spend more time in that area again a little bit later, maybe as a family. We'll have some things to do there, so I haven't quite set a date yet. But we are still in the midst of just soaking it all in, trying to absorb it, trying to keep up, and it's a little bit difficult at times to keep up with things, but still. Very, very exciting. It's like one of these adventures. I mean, one of the adventures I had recently was I went to the DMV. I went to the motor vehicles DMV to figure out some aspect of my driver's license here in the United States. And I had been to the DMV in the United States before, but not recently. And so this was my going back to the DMV. And my goodness, what an experience that was, going to the DMV. Yes, it was a very memorable experience indeed. But I was able to strike up some conversations with people who worked at the DMV, and very, very friendly people. There's one person in particular. I was leaning on the counter and just waiting for some final paperwork to get filed by the person sitting on the other side. And I didn't realize until I was leaning on it that there was a sign that said, "Do not lean on counter." And I looked at it, I said, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't notice the sign was there." And the person on the other side, "Oh, don't worry about it. Everyone does it. It's okay." And we just struck up a conversation. I was, by that time, I was in the DMV for about 3 hours. But I was trying to keep myself in a high-spirited mood. I was talking to this person working at the DMV, and so very friendly and saying how, I just came back from lunch and I was feeling a little bit it's drowsy, and I was like, "Oh, I know the feeling. Yeah. Was the lunch good?" And she's, "Oh, the lunch was really good. Thanks for asking." So we had that kind of conversation. And then the paperwork was filed, and I got what I needed, and I was able to leave. So it was one of those situations about being in the DMV. I had to go on one end of the DMV to get my picture, and I was waiting there for about 10 minutes, only to be told that, "Oh, this station is broken. You have to go to the other station." And there's, "Oh, okay." So that's just walking to the other side of the DMV, and then waiting in line there. So it was an interesting adventure. In that way, so it's kind of like it was like that game, what's that board game? Shoots and Ladders, right? You roll the dice or you spin the wheel, and if you land on a space and it's a ladder, you can go up a few spaces. But if you land on a slide or chute, you then slide down. It felt like that in the DMV, being in like a game of shoots and ladders. So it was kind of exciting, I suppose. But I mean, I'm not against playing shoots and ladders. I mean, I enjoy that game very much. So it's kind of like playing shoots and ladders in real time. Interesting being in the DMV, and again, people were very friendly. So I have nothing but the utmost respect for the people, the great people who work at the DMV. If anyone there is watching at the DMV, I got what I needed. So thank you very much for your very kind support, very much so. So that's one of the adventures. That's one of the things. That and many other similar situated matters or what lie ahead for me between now and say the next week. But once those are taken care of, then I'll be able perhaps to go see Barbie in the movie theater. I want to try to do that because I've heard a lot about that movie so far. It seems to be quite quite the phenomenon in terms of worldwide cinema attention lately. So that's something to try to watch before before it leaves the theaters. But I did see Death Screams, and also part of the Game Trilogy from Arrow, and then part of the Pasolini set, Pasolini 101. And it reminds me I have to finish watching those Criterion releases. And also reminds me that I have to recommence my discussions of the Cronenberg films and the De Palma films and the Angelopoulos films. And then also being very excited about being in the place, Mulholland Drive, as I mentioned before. Okay, Irene, won't that be the day? And then also finishing up my Twin Peaks discussions. Of course, I'm still in the midst of the missing pieces, so I apologize for anyone who has been waiting for the missing pieces discussions. I really apologize for that. But I was thinking about the missing pieces as I was in the DMV. I was thinking, it reminded me of a certain scene that we'll talk about in the missing pieces. And this is it. And the return as well. I was in the DMV. And I was thinking, this is just like the return. Wouldn't it be cool if we had a scene? And was there a scene in Twin Peaks in the DMV? I wonder. If not, there should be, or maybe David Lynch in the DMV. You told me to go to camera B, and I've been waiting at camera B for 10 minutes, and no one was there. I had to call Jeremy because I needed Jeremy to call Naomi and tell Naomi that the shooting schedule would be delayed because I was waiting at camera B at the DMV. And I was told after 10 minutes that camera B was closed and I had to go to camera A. So please, I needed Jeremy to tell Naomi that the shooting schedule would be delayed by that extra 10 minutes because of the broken camera B, or something like that. So that would be cool. If anyone is in David Lynch's orbit, and if anyone is able to say to David Lynch, it might be interesting to have some project or something in the DMV, that would be great. Or perhaps, yes, maybe there is a DMV related David Lynch work, and it's just escaping me at the moment. Maybe my memory's failing me. If so, please remind me of that. So, in any event, what was I saying? So, anyways, sorry about this. Let me end my discussion here, or my update here, and say, please, my dear friends, please continue to be happy and healthy and well, and please continue to watch a lot of great movies. I will do my best to, again, settle in as much as possible. I am enjoying myself thoroughly, and very much so. It's very hectic and very busy, but I have nothing but the deepest gratitude for people who have shown support and who have given me and given us lovely comments of welcoming and the like, and so and friendship and warmth. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I am again filled with so much thankfulness and gratitude towards you. I can't even begin to express just how much I'm so thankful. But let me try, and let me try by saying thank you. Thank you. From the bottom of my heart, truly, thank you very much. I'm totally undeserving, truly undeserving of it, but thank you. Thank you very much. So let me end it here. And until the next video, or until the next live stream, whatever the case may be, have a great weekend. Have a great rest of your day. Keep on watching a lot of great movies. And let me know if you have any recommendations for me. Or recommendations for anyone here. So until the next one, my dear friends, stay strong, stay safe, and cheers.